everyone. Today I'd like to discuss where to get the most bang for your genealogical buck. So today I wanted to talk about what resources I've had the most success with when it comes to my own genealogical research. Some of them are websites, some of them are not. And it'd be great to hear where you all have had the best success, the most success, and we can sort of compare notes. The first one would be Ancestry.com. Now I know Ancestry.com is a bit of a controversial site according to some people. However, I do believe that it's probably, for me, it's been the best way to quickly and easily identify records related to my ancestors, in addition to identifying possible new relatives, new links in the family lines. Ancestry will set you back between $20 and $40 per month, depending on the package that you subscribe to. But I definitely think it's well worth the money. Definitely check out Ancestry. Second resource I'd like to bring up is FamilySearch.org. I haven't found a tremendous number of my ancestors via FamilySearch.org, but those that I have found, I've been able to generate a lot of success, primarily through locating LDS resources in the form of microfiche, and then using those microfiche and microfilm to generate a lot of cool insights about family members. The third resource I'd like to mention is FultonHistory.com. Now, FultonHistory.com is really only going to be useful to you if you have relatives in New York State. The gentleman who runs it has basically digitized thousands of newspapers from New York State over, I guess, spanning the last maybe 150 years, I'm guessing. This is a fantastic resource, totally free. This gentleman does it out of the goodness of his own heart. A great resource if you have ancestors in New York State. The fourth resource that I'd like to mention is just simply the Social Security Death Index. Now, searching the Social Security Death Index, you can find some basic information on most of your ancestors who have died in the past roughly 50 to 70 years, I would say. Ultimately, you do need to send away for a copy of their SS5 or their Social Security application, and that can generate some interesting results for you in terms of learning some more about the person's background. The last resource I'd like to mention is quite simply birth, marriage, and death records that are usually available from the state health department or the state organization concerning vital records. Sometimes you have to burrow down into the town or county level if the state doesn't possess the records for your ancestor. I've had to do that several times, actually, mostly within New York State. And I really do think that sometimes there's no substitute for just that good old-fashioned birth, marriage, death record research, and unfortunately at the moment you can't really access many of those records online easily, probably because of state privacy laws, I'm guessing. But ultimately you will want to spend some time and a few dollars accessing birth, marriage, and death records for your ancestors. I also just wanted to mention two websites where I've not had the best of luck, and I'm curious as to whether or not you all have had better luck than I have. The first is Footnote.com. Now, Footnote.com I haven't had the best luck with. I've found a few relatives that way, in particular in the Civil War Soldiers Pension Index that they possess. One thing I do like about Footnote is they seem to have some very unique records. However, I personally haven't had the best luck with Footnote. I would definitely be curious to hear otherwise from those of you who use Footnote on a regular basis. The other website I'd like to mention, I'd actually like to complain about, is Public Records Pro. Now, Public Records Pro does a lot of advertising, a lot of it targeted towards genealogists, and Public Records Pro, quite frankly, I wasn't too thrilled with. I got a 3-month subscription. I thought I would be able to at least find some of the birth and marriage records that I had been looking for quite some time. Unfortunately, it seemed to really only be a clearinghouse for information, and the website would refer me to another resource that I would have to send a letter to and send some money to. And any other information I found on relatives seemed to be things that I could find, that I could have found just using the white pages, like whitepages.com, for example. So I haven't been too thrilled with Public Records Pro. I'd definitely like to hear from those of you who feel otherwise. So if you've had a good experience with either of those last two sites, let me know. Also, if there were any sites or resources that I failed to mention that you've had some great success and luck with, I'd love to hear about this as well. So please just post a video response or a text response, a comment, and I look forward to hearing from you all. Thanks. Now, as I mentioned, I'd like to also know where you've gotten the most bang for your buck in terms of family history research. I'd love to hear your comments, video responses, text responses, anything like that. Thanks a lot.